pitied me. I could see it in their eyes, the way they averted their gazes, the way their lips tightened whenever they looked at me. Even Guts, especially him, they tried to hide it, but I could feel it in the way they moved around me, in the softness of their voices when they spoke my name. Griffith, the name they once cried out with reverence and awe, had become something fragile, something small, something pathetic. I could no longer wield a sword. I couldn't even hold a cup of water without my fingers trembling like brittle twigs in the wind. I wasn't their leader anymore. I was a burden, and they knew it. I could hear them at night, whispering when they thought I was asleep. We'll find a way to help him. He just needs time. Lies. All of it. There was no helping me, no recovering from this. I was a bird with its wings torn off, left to rot in the dirt, unable to soar, and a caged bird that could no longer fly was only waiting for death. Until that night, until it found me again, the Behelit. I don't remember how it returned to my hands. Maybe it had never truly left me. Maybe it had been waiting, watching, lurking in the background like a silent witness to my suffering. When it opened its eyes, I felt it, the pull. Something in the air shifted, a heartbeat. Not mine. The world itself exhaled. And then the sky bled, the sun blackened, swallowed by something unnatural. A second moon, massive and red, loomed over us, bathing everything in a sickly crimson glow. And then came the whispers, soft at first, a susurrus of voices slipping through the cracks of reality. I knew those voices. They were mine. Every doubt, every fear, every regret. They weren't speaking to me. They were speaking as me. The ground trembled, shifting like something alive beneath us. The others screamed, but their voices were distant, muted beneath the overwhelming hum that filled the air. And then they appeared, the God Hand. They didn't move. They didn't need to. Their presence alone was enough to suffocate the very fabric of existence. I should have been terrified. I should have fallen to my knees, begged for mercy, prayed for some kind of salvation. But I didn't, because I knew, deep in my marrow, in the darkest part of my soul, I knew what was coming. I had always known this was fate. Void spoke first. His voice didn't echo. It resonated inside my skull, vibrating through every nerve, every cell. Is this not what you desired? I couldn't answer, not because my throat was ruined, not because my body had long since been stripped of its former strength, but because I didn't need to. They already knew. The truth sat there, raw and exposed, like an open wound. A single choice: to sacrifice the ones who had given everything for me, to trade their lives for my dream. I didn't hesitate, because deep down, in the part of myself that I had never dared to look at before, I had already made this choice. They screamed, the band of the Hawk, my soldiers, my sacrifices. It started with their skin, melting, warping, peeling away in strips like candle wax. Then their bones cracked, their spines twisted, their limbs elongated into unnatural shapes. Some of them split open from the inside, like flowers blooming in reverse, their rib cages unfurling to reveal pulsing, writhing horrors beneath. Others didn't die right away. They ran, stumbled, clawed at the ground in desperation. The apostles, massive, grotesque creatures with too many eyes and too many teeth, descended upon them like starving animals. I watched as they fed, tearing, chewing, swallowing. Screams turned to gurgles. Limbs were torn from torsos, intestines unraveled like spools of rope, stretching across the blood-soaked landscape. And through it all, I felt nothing. Not grief, not guilt, not even satisfaction. Because this wasn't an ending, this was a beginning, and they, my comrades, my friends, had always been pieces in the grand design of my ambition, and to ascend, I had to break them, all of them. I felt it before I saw it. My body, changing, no, not changing, shedding. The frail, ruined husk of Griffith peeled away, and beneath it, something new was born. I was no longer bound by flesh, no longer tied to the limitations of mortality. I was femto. The world was mine to shape. Everything felt smaller, the past, the pain, the suffering. It was all insignificant. Even them, even Guts, even Casca. She reached for me. Even now, even after watching the others butchered like animals, she still looked at me with those same eyes. Eyes that still believed in me. She didn't understand. None of them did. I wasn't Griffith anymore. I was beyond them. And when I took her, claimed her in front of the only man who had ever defied me, I saw the final betrayal in Guts's eyes. That was when I knew the last part of my past had shattered, and the only thing left was the future, my kingdom, my destiny, and the screams of my sacrifices would be the foundation upon which I built it, forever. The eclipse ended. The sun rose once more. The world had changed, or perhaps it had only revealed itself. I stood upon the broken remnants of the Band of the Hawk. The apostles knelt before me, their new king, and yet, for the first time in my life, I felt nothing, not triumph, not satisfaction, just an emptiness, vast and consuming, stretching endlessly within me. I had won. I had become a god, but at what cost? And somewhere in the deepest corner of my soul, buried beneath the layers of power, beyond the echoes of Griffith's long-dead humanity, a single human voice whispered, "Was it worth it?" And I never answered, because I didn't know, and I never would.